Hey, this is Edna White. I am so glad you're with me today. Have you ever felt like you're reliving the struggles of your parents or grandparents, or you're walking around like you don't know why you're mad, but you're just mad? Well, you're not alone. Many of us are carrying inherited wounds without even realizing it. So, I'm going to talk about that today. So, you ready? Let's go. So, what does it matter? Why does this matter? I used to wonder why I felt so unworthy, unrecognized, you know, invisible, not invincible, but invisible, until I realized after looking at my family and seeing where they came from and just watching, I realized it wasn't just my story, it was my family's story. That's where it comes from. So when we talk about generational trauma and the patterns that our families have, we have to, number one, really realize it and be truthful with ourselves to say, this is where I get it from. You know how they say, I get it from my mama? You really do. So I'm telling you that your story is not like mine. Same thing. We have the same issues, right? So we may have different issues, but we get things from our families. So I had to turn that story around. I had to realize I had to be the generational breaker. You know how they say in your family, oh, you're the black sheep, you're the odd man out, you're the one in the left field? It's because you are on an assignment to break generational curses, to break generational traumas. You just don't realize it sometimes. So sometimes if you're struggling with things, you don't know why you're struggling, and you're always seeking and trying to fix things within yourself, not anybody else, is because you're a generational trauma and pattern breaker. Okay? So there is hope. Once you recognize it, you can start to break the cycle. So, how does generational trauma show up? I will tell you, if you really look at your family, even look at yourself first and then look outwardly at your family through each paternal and maternal background, you'll see repeated unhealthy relationship patterns, financial struggles across generations, anxiety, fear, and limiting beliefs that seem inherited, cultural or family expectations that create pressure. Yeah, pretty sure. So, for example, if you're not getting it just yet, here's an example. Your grandmother stayed in a toxic marriage. Your mom did too. Now you wonder why you're afraid to leave. Maybe money has always been scarce. And now, even when you have enough, you feel guilty for spending it. Think about that. So, how do you begin to break the cycle? How do you begin to do that? And one thing I said before in my own example is I had to realize, have awareness. Now, awareness only happens when you sit still sometimes, when you sit in the stillness, when you create a space for you to be peaceful. And I'm going to tell you, just like I tell you every time, is start small, 5 minutes. You don't have to do it in the beginning, a long period of time, because let me tell you, it takes milliseconds to learn something new. Milliseconds. Take 5 minutes. Sit quiet. If you have children, if you have even have pets, this 5 minutes is mine. Then sit, identify patterns. Sit with your writing book now, with your writing book and your pen, right? Identify patterns within you. Why what you keep repeating and you don't quite get the test right, as we would call it. It's a test, right? We keep repeating the same test over and over again. So write that down. Now, is this belief true? Or is it truly mine? That's what you, is this belief truly mine? Or did I inherit it from 3 lines down? Now sit back in that 5 minutes that you have, self-reflect. Start journaling, right? And if you have deeper pains that kind of come up, seek a therapist, right? Seek a therapist to talk to get through it and make sense of it, to trace the emotional roots back. The third thing you do is create boundaries, setting new standards for relationships and self-worth. Setting new standards. You hear what I'm saying? New. For relationships and self-worth. Because believe it or not, when you don't have boundaries, you don't have self-worth. But as soon as you make that one step with one boundary, you start to get some courage. So I'm just saying, boundaries work. 4, healing practices, mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is nothing but sitting down and being aware of yourself, listening to your breathing. That's it. Again, start 5 minutes and level it up to an hour. It's always mindfulness. And then you can be mindful on if you're being anxious in the day. You calm yourself down with 3 deep in and out breaths and say, where am I feeling anxiety? Where am I feeling it? Locate it, find it, and understand it. Okay? And this all happens, honestly, in seconds. But you have to have that mindfulness to be aware of it. Reparenting yourself. And if you watched my video from yesterday, you would know reparenting is nothing but you as an adult reparenting that little girl or little boy that's inside of you. That's all it is. And then there's affirmations. Affirmations everywhere for everything, because they truly do reframe your thoughts, your mind, and the things that you want to subconsciously say to yourself. And the final one is community and support. Breaking the silence, talking openly, and seeking help. Being around people that mean support for you. If they're dragging you down, I'm sorry, they're not in your community and they don't support you. They just don't. If they always have something negative to say, I'm sorry, they are not your community and they're not your support. If they are downplaying every dream or everything you think of, an idea, they are not your community and they are not your support. If they are not doing good as you or better, they are not your community and not your support. I know you're going to probably tell me something, but that's okay. Listen, I once believed that I was not good enough. But when I traced it back, I realized it was a script handed down to me. It was not my truth. I replaced it with, I am worthy of love and success. So what am I going to charge you with today? I'm going to inspire you that you are not bound by your past. You have the power to rewrite your story. If you have a story, or maybe you have comments about what you feel, put them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you've even recognized about your patterns, right? And what you've noticed in your family. Put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Now, here's my final thought for you. If any of this resonates, right, with you, like and subscribe. And you know what? And for more insight on this, I am going to give you this free Breaking the Cycle, Healing Generational Trauma and Family Patterns. It's a free ebook that you can click the link. If it's scrolling across the screen, that's the link. If you are on the bottom of this video, there should be a link for you to do that. So sign up for it, okay? It'll be available to you. And if I could ever help you do anything or need my support to help you get better with what you're doing in your life and recognizing that you are enough, give me a holler. My name is Edna White, and I'm so glad you're with me today. Bye for now.